You thought one little one-night stand wasn't going to hurt anybody? Fatal Attraction is here to tell you, think again. Dan Gallagher, Michael Douglas, cheats on his wife. And the woman he thought was just a fling? Alex Forrest, Glenn Close, turns out to be obsessive, unhinged, and dangerously fixated. He panics. He runs to Lieutenant Sam Coppola for help. And what does the cop say? You made your bed, now you have to lie in it. Brutal, but true. Because this movie isn't just about cheating, it's about the consequences. The terrifying aftermath of thinking a bad decision won't follow you home. Dan thought he could cheat, ghost, and go back to his happy little family. But Alex? Oh no. She wasn't just a fling. She was a walking red flag with a kitchen knife. And that's why Fatal Attraction never goes out of style. It's not just a thriller, it's the blueprint, the Bible, the day one template for every unhinged ex-girlfriend saga that came after. Basic Instinct, Single White Female, You on Netflix, Gone Girl. Yeah, they all owe this movie a nod. Welcome to Real Talk, where we spill the tea on movies, media, and all the madness in between, with wit, sass, and zero sugarcoating. The movie kicks off with Dan's picture-perfect life, a successful lawyer, beautiful wife, and adorable daughter Ellen. But then he meets Alex at a publishing party his firm is repping. She's sharp, successful, attractive, and clearly into him. So when his wife and kid leave town for the weekend, he does what many men have done in thrillers and in life. He takes the bait. The next morning, red flag number 1, she calls him immediately, then begs to see him again. Dan could have walked away, but nope. He doubles down for round 2, and that's when it all goes off the rails. When he finally tries to leave, she slashes her wrists right in front of him, classic guilt trap. From there, the obsession escalates fast, and at this point, all hell breaks loose. Alex displays classic symptoms of something called erotomania, also known as de Clermont syndrome, a rare delusional disorder where someone becomes convinced that another person is secretly in love with them. Doesn't matter if that person's married or uninterested, they twist the rejection into a deeper part of the fantasy. In Alex's mind, Dan didn't cheat and ghost. He cheated and fell in love. He just didn't realize it yet. Cue the now legendary line, "I'm not going to be ignored, Dan." And Gen Z, or Gen Alpha, let us introduce you to the pre-voicemail era, cassette tape messages. Yes, she records herself pouring her rage into a tape. "Hello, Dan. Are you surprised? This is what you've reduced me to. I guess you thought you'd get away with it. Well, you can't. 'Cause part of you is growing inside of me, and that's a fact, Dan. And you'd better start learning how to deal with it." Alex goes from passionate to punishing, from seductive to clingy, from clingy to manipulative, from manipulative to murderous, faking pregnancy, stalking, self-harm, kidnapping his daughter, and of course, the bunny boiler moment. Rest in peace, Fluffy. She doesn't just want love, she wants control, permanence, ownership. And when she can't have it, she'll destroy everything that threatens that fantasy, including his wife, his kid, and his peace of mind. This movie terrifies everyone. For men, it's a cautionary tale. Cheat, and your whole life could go up in flames. For women, it pokes at the fear of being lied to, discarded, or gaslit, then blamed for acting crazy. And Glenn Close? She doesn't just play Alex as a psycho, she brings layers. You fear her, but there's a flash of sympathy. A woman falling apart, spiraling in delusion, trying to control the uncontrollable. She fought to portray Alex as mentally ill, not evil. She even opposed the violent ending the studio demanded. And originally, the movie agreed. The first ending had Alex die by suicide, trying to frame Dan for her death. It was tragic, chilling, and way more realistic. But test audiences hated it, so they reshot the ending with a violent bathroom showdown. And yeah, that's the ending that made Alex a full-blown horror icon. Bunny boiler? Check. Knife-wielding finale? Check. It wasn't what Glenn wanted, but it's the moment that went down in movie history. Before she went full bunny boiler, Glenn Close was already building a rep as a prestige, theater-trained actress with serious dramatic chops. Then came Fatal Attraction in 1987, her mainstream breakthrough. As Alex Forrest, she was dangerously smart, emotionally intense, and utterly unpredictable. It made her a world-renowned actress overnight. But here's the thing. She didn't just play a villain, she played a damaged woman with a delusion. You fear her, but there's a sliver of pity too, until she brings out the knife. Let's not pretend it's flawless, though. The 1987 logic holes? Whew. Alex kidnaps Ellen from school? Apparently in the 80s, all you needed was a blazer and confidence. She just walks in like, "Hi, I'm a totally normal lady here to pick up Dan's daughter." And the school receptionist looks her up and down and goes, "Cool, vibes check out, have fun, bye Ellen." And Ellen just goes with a random lady? Like, girl, stranger danger. Meanwhile, we, the audience, are screaming into the void. And Alex? Remember that whole publishing job she had at the beginning? The one with the suit and the big meeting and the boss? Yeah, well, apparently obsessing full-time is also a career, because sis never clocks back in. Did she quit? Was she fired? Does stalking Dan count as PTO? She's free every hour of the day to call, lurk, show up at his house, boil bunnies, and fake pregnancies. But zero mention of deadlines or emails. Must be nice. But plot holes aside, Fatal Attraction lands its final blow hard. Beth, Dan's wife, goes from passive housewife to protective mama bear. She doesn't just cry, she fights back. Dan, once smug and selfish, forced to defend everything he took for granted. Fatal Attraction doesn't end with justice. It ends with consequences. For everyone. And let's give Glenn Close her flowers. She came from Broadway, didn't even start her film career until her mid-30s, and still became a screen legend. Fatal Attraction wasn't her beginning, but it was her blast-off into icon status. So yeah, plot holes, sure. But Fatal Attraction? Still the blueprint. Is Alex terrifying? Absolutely. Was Dan an idiot? 100%. But is this movie a classic for a reason? You better believe it. Fatal Attraction isn't just a thriller. It's a warning label, a conversation starter, a cultural reset. And decades later, it still has people clutching their pearls and side-eyeing their partners. Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around for more Real Talk, where we break down the movies that made pop culture unhinged.